Okay, so if anyone asks, yes, we are recording, because that's always the first question. First, I want to congratulate you guys because I am pretty sure we have almost maxed out the Zoom with 97 participants. So thank you for showing up. Like, that's huge. Okay, so you guys really made me proud with filling this room up. So again, I'm Amber Duluth, your presidential upline. This week we are talking with Lisa Bueller, Ambassador Diamond and Top 100 Income Earner, and she's prepared to rock your world. So Lisa, first thing I want you to do is tell them your story, where you came from and where you are now.
Absolutely. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, girlfriend.
You're welcome.
I'm not that great. So I just celebrated my 6-year anniversary with It Works. January or July 28th was my 6-year anniversary. And I was a waitress and a bartender before this. I had worked in restaurants since I was 14 years old, and I woke up one day, I was 37 years old, still working in a restaurant with 5 kids. And I made great money, like really good money, to the point where I could take care of my whole family when my boyfriend at the time lost his job. And I was the only one bringing in money. And when that happened, I was keeping us afloat. And we did really good before that with both of our incomes. I mean, we really had a good life, decent. I mean, we definitely lived paycheck to paycheck, but we didn't, we didn't go on vacation, stuff like that, but we didn't struggle either as far as putting food on the table and keeping the lights on and stuff like that. So when he lost his job, it was just, that was back in 2009. The economy was horrible. Everybody was filing bankruptcy and losing their car and their homes. And I just had to stop paying bills. I mean, I was at work 60 hours a week. I never saw my kids. 1 year turned into 2 years of this crazy schedule. I mean, I already worked a 40-hour work week anyways, but this on top of that was just, I was there all the time. And I stopped paying my house payment, and I stopped paying one of our car payments. And I ended up having to foreclose on our house, and our car was repossessed, and we were down to one vehicle. And this vehicle was, it was a 2001 Chevy Venture, but it was, none of the windows rolled down. The air conditioner was broken, and only one of the doors open. So everybody had to crawl in through this one door. So it was 210,000 miles. It wasn't doing too well, and I knew it wasn't going to be long before that broke down. So it was really just so stressful. Like, I remember getting off of work at 2:30 in the morning, because where I worked, I would go in usually around 10 in the morning, and I'd be there till like 2:30, because it was a bar restaurant. So it was like a restaurant all day, but then at night it turned into a bar, and I was bartending. And I remember getting off work at like 2:30 in the morning and just going home. And I remember my first panic attack. I got home, I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about Christmas was right around the corner. And I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. Like, where am I going to get the money for Christmas? And all of a sudden my heart started beating out of my chest. I couldn't breathe. I called the ambulance and I ended up racking up like bills because I was so stressed out. Just from the having 5 kids and the bills, and going back to, being 37 years old and not having a clue, and going back to renting, being down to one vehicle. And it was just like, I felt like a failure. I felt like I'm not going forwards in life, I'm going backwards. And I really didn't know how to get out of the hole I was in. I mean, going back to school wasn't an option, because I needed to be working every breathing, waking second just to keep what we had. And I had never thought about a home-based business. I didn't think you can make money at home-based businesses. The other thing too was, like, I kind of thought most of them were pyramid schemes. I really didn't know what that was. I just, jumped on the bandwagon where everybody said those are pyramid schemes. And I thought, okay, that's what those are. They're scams. You can't make real money. So, and I had some girlfriends that did different businesses, like one sold candles, another one sold novelties, and they never really made money doing it. So I didn't really think you could make money doing it. So that's why I really never looked into one. But a girl that I worked with, she came in one day and was so excited, talking about this this cloth that she found. It was called the Ultimate Body Applicator, and you could put it anywhere from the neck down. And she showed everybody these pictures, and immediately I'm one of those really negative, not now, but I was one of those really negative, skeptical people where I was like, whatever, that sounds like an infomercial. One of those infomercials when I get home at 2:30 in the morning, I can't sleep. It sounds like one of those where, I don't see how this product could actually work. I don't even know how that's a possibility. And I kind of dissed it for a couple weeks, but there was a couple of the other waitresses that I worked with that tried it, and they were so excited about the results, and they were just telling everybody, and that got me curious. I mean, obviously now it went from, her showing me a bunch of pictures of people I didn't know to now people I knew trying it, and they were saying that this thing worked. I was in, and still I didn't think about a business, not even a little bit. That never popped in my head. But I thought about trying it because my middle baby was 10 pounds when she was born, and I had some really bad stretch marks on my tummy. I hadn't worn like a two-piece bathing suit since having her. And she was going on, 10. Yeah, because she's 16 now. So she was going on 10. And so for 10 years, it was one of those things where I was embarrassed to show my tummy, but and then I was embarrassed to ask her for one because I had dogged on it so bad. But I decided to break down and, start asking her questions. And she knew my financial situation, and she was a pretty good friend. We'd worked together for a couple years. So she was like, I'm just going to give you one. Take it home and see what you think. So I was a bloater. For any of you guys that ever bloated, and she didn't tell me about that. She had just started, so she didn't even know that was a possibility. So when I put the wrap on, I wore it for like 2 hours. I remember putting it on. I did my dishes. I went to the grocery store. I came home, and I felt like I was getting bigger in this thing. And that was back when we measured. Like, she didn't say take pictures. She said just measure 3 areas, write it down. So I have my measuring tape, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm trying to mark it. And when I remeasured after 45 minutes, I had gained almost like 12 inches over the 3 areas. It looked like I was like 6 months pregnant. I was the biggest bloater I think I've ever seen, but I was so unhealthy. I mean, I worked at a chicken wing and beer restaurant, so you can imagine what I put in my body when I was there 60 hours a week. So I basically threw it in the garbage and thought, I hope this just goes away. Like, this is horrible. I'm not telling anybody about this fat patch thingy. And then 3 days later, I was getting ready. So it's like a third dayer, because 3 days later I was getting ready to go to work, and I put it on, or I went to put my jeans on, and they were those jeans that just came out of those jeans that, like, how they look good, but they're really tight. So you have to wear like a baggy shirt because your love handles are like popping over the side. They were those jeans, the kind that you have to jump up and down to get on. But I went to put those on, and 3 days before that, they were so tight. And when I went to pull them up and I could button them, I knew right away the wrap worked. And I ran to the bathroom and got my measuring tape out of the top drawer and remeasured. And I was down, like, from my original inches, I was down 6 inches over the 3 areas. And that's when I really noticed my stretch marks. And to be honest, it wasn't even the inch loss that impressed me. It was the way my stretch marks looked. It looked like somebody else's stomach. So I was excited. Absolutely. I went into work that day and I was like, how do I get more of these? I can't afford it. There's got to be a way that I can get some kind of crazy discount. And I mean, up until that point, I think it had been like 6 years since I actually went to a hairdresser. I did my own hair. I hadn't bought any new clothes in years because everything that I brought into my house went to my kids. It went to a birthday or a Christmas or a school function or sports. So I wasn't willing to spend the money. And she was like, why don't you just sign up to sell it with me? And immediately I was like, oh, no way. That's not happening. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not going to be one of those people that bug my friends and family to buy some crazy product. And at the time, I had no idea there were other products. All she talked about this wrap. And so I went home, and she had told me, just go look it up. I'm telling you, you have nothing to lose. And at the time, it was $200 to sign, $199, and you got 8 wraps in your kit. And she said, don't you think 8 people that would buy these off of you? Because if you can sell all of them for $25, you'll get your money back. Plus, you'll get 120 in free product that you can use to wrap yourself. So, honestly, you have nothing to lose, and you can quit anytime. So I went home and I researched, and everything she told me was true. And I thought, well, I don't have anything to lose. So I signed up, and I really didn't expect much. but I was stinking excited about that wrap. So I just started telling everybody at work that I worked with. Actually, the first two people I went to about it was my mom and my sister, and they both thought I was stupid, crazy, didn't want anything to do with it. So immediately I remember leaving my mom's house and thinking I should just quit. Why would I do this? I mean, my mom and my sister are telling me this is stupid. It's crazy. And I almost told her I need to get out of this as soon as possible. But something in me was like, you know what? There's something to this. I didn't really know what. I just thought, I'm not giving up yet. So I went into work the next day and I started talking to some regular customers that I had, and they were interested. They wanted to know more. And before I knew it, I'd sold those 8 wraps. And every time I sold a wrap, I ended up getting a customer or distributor. Nobody I knew. They were all just acquaintances, people that came into my restaurant, people out and about, but none of them were friends or family. Friends and family were not nice to me about this product. And I think a lot of people have that. So I'm not the only one, but yeah, they were totally just not supportive in any way. But my first month, I went to Ruby. I didn't have any clue what that was. I made like almost $1,200 my first month just between Wrap Cash and my free product and my for paychecks and my bonuses, my fast starts. And I thought I had something on my hands because I expected to work this really hard for a year and maybe make an extra $500 a month. And that really is what I came in for, $300 to $500 a month. Because honestly, I didn't think any more than that was possible. So at that point, I didn't dream at all because I didn't think those things were possible. So when I saw that my first month, that got me excited. But it was the second month, and the girl that signed me up called me up and she said, you have to come to this thing with me. Some lady named Pam Souter and Kimmy Dempsey were coming into town, into Toledo, Ohio. They were going to fly in, and Pam Souter was supposedly the founder of this wrap. She was like, high up in the company, like an owner or whatever. And it was my only day off, and I told her, no way. There's no way I'm going to that. It's my only day off with my kids. I'm just not going to do it. And the day came, and she called me that morning. She said, I just really feel like you need to go to do this. And I said, all right, I'll go. I was not happy about it. Didn't want to go. But it was definitely the best thing I ever did. And it was definitely the thing that's when I got sold. That's when I knew that I was going to get rich. I left that meeting. What really surprised me was that I'm picturing going to some big place with at least 500-600 people because the owner of a company is flying in. Now you're thinking there's got to be a lot of people. I showed up at this VFW hall and there was 40 people total. And Cammie Dempsey at the time, I think her check was $60,000 that month. And I was blown away thinking, gosh, if I could have a piece of that, I just want like 5. I'm not even greedy. Give me 1. I just want some of that. And when I met both of them, I caught the vision of the company. And I remember when I left there that night, I told Pam Souter, the next time you see me, I'm going to be rich. And and to a point, I was kind of right. Rich to me is $10,000 a month. Like if I could get to $10,000 a month, nobody makes that. Like that's huge. And I made that by my 7th month in the business. I went triple diamond and saw my first 5-figure income check. And then I sat at triple for about a year. I actually went 9 months in between triple and presidential and didn't enroll 1 distributor in 9 months. I thought it was over. I could not, a lot of things were going on with me mentally. Like I was thinking, why did this happen to me? How did I do this? Is this going to keep coming? Is this like, am I dreaming this? Like nothing felt real. And I guess I doubted myself. Like there was a lot of pressure, all of a sudden I had all these people under me and, asking me what to do. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's been 7 months. I just kept following 3 steps, doing it over and over. And this is what happened. So it was just, I kind of mentally freaked out. And I think I was doing the same things. I was blitzing, I was wrapping, I was repeating, but I just couldn't close anybody. I got customers during that time, but I just couldn't get a distributor. And I remember thinking, well, maybe this was it. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'm not going to freak out. I remember sitting back and going, what do I do right now? And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go work with the people on my team that get to know these people, work with them, help them promote, and hopefully I'll promote, which is exactly what happened. I went and I just started pouring into other people and still planting seeds and doing all those things that you're supposed to do. I never stopped doing those things no matter what. But and thank God I didn't, because when I was 9 months of not signing one distributor, I was in Florida, and I had gone to Florida, driven down there with one of my team members who was going to be launching a couple salons that she had signed. And it was the weirdest thing. I was standing outside of a hotel. It was like around midnight, and I was standing outside this hotel. We were just getting ready to check in, and another lady was checking in at the same time. And we were standing outside, and I was asking her, where are you from? Making small talk, and I was like, she said, I'm a hairdresser, and I'm here for a hair show, and looking for new things to bring into my salon. And she was from Idaho. And I was like, oh my gosh, shut up. Do you believe in fate? And she was like, I don't know why. And I was like, you need to come to my room so I can wrap you. And she was like, okay, I don't even know you. I'm not coming to your room right now. You could be some psycho crazy murderer. How about you give me your number and I'll call you in the morning? And I remember I went and I met her at a Mexican restaurant in Florida and wrapped her there. She went on some crazy tour in St. Augustine, some ghost tour, and we met back at another place, and I unwrapped her, and she loved her results. And she said, you know what, I'm traveling for the next couple months, but when I get back to Idaho, I'll call you. And I just kept in touch with her, didn't really mention the wrap, just asked her how her trip was doing, that kind of thing. And when she got back there, she called me up and she said, hey, I think I want to sign up for this distributor thing, and I've got 18 other people that want to sign up with me as a distributor as well. And I flipped out. I was like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. And when I called to enroll her, customer service back then, you guys, there was like 20 reps in the office. Everybody knew each other's names. And when I called to enroll her, everybody in the office started screaming and yelling because I had just signed the first distributor in the state of Idaho. And it was crazy because Cammie Dempsey called me right after that and was like, you just signed the first distributor in the state, da-da-da. She took me, that one person. I mean, I always think about that. If I would have given up after that 9 months of not, just freaking out myself out, a lot of people give up on those things. And if I would have stopped planting seeds, stopped doing what I was supposed to be doing, I wouldn't have run into her. And in 1 month, she was 20, just her, she was $22,000 of my paycheck in a month, just that leg. And I think about that and I'm like, how can you imagine if I wouldn't have blitzed her? Because I thought to myself, this doesn't work for me anymore. Why should I do that? So just keep going no matter what. And then it was her that was my fifth leg that brought me all the way to ambassador. So I made the Millionaires Club a couple of years ago now. And, it's just, there's ups and downs for sure. Mostly ups. And I've learned a ton and I love this business. There's nothing like network marketing. I mean, I know this is where it's at. And when you can find the right vehicle, nothing can stop you. And, it's just about, after you found that vehicle, all it's about is being consistent. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to be perfect. Most of the systems, just like it works, 1, 2, 3, they're simple. It's just not giving up on yourself and staying consistent. You could really pretty much be, I hate saying this, but you could be a dum-dum and you can get to the top of this company, because if you're willing to network and if you're willing to stay consistent doing the right things, networking, that's the key. Networking, not net wishing, not net hoping or net sitting. Networking. If you're willing to get out there and meet new people every day, add them to your social media, work people through social media, however you're meeting those people, you will go to the top of this company in a matter of time, because you're going to run in. Law of averages says you're going to run into those couple right people that are going to take you all the way to the top. So, just consistency, that's definitely key.
Awesome. I love it. And what's funny is we have several waiters, waitresses, and bartenders on here who can relate to the early part of your story. We have like, I don't know, 100, close to 100 people on here, and you guys don't have to, but show of hands, who got a paycheck? Okay, right? So Lisa went from zero, right, because she had just gotten started, to $10,000 in under a year. So in theory, you are all already ahead of her in that you already have a paycheck. So isn't it kind of crazy that in under a year you can be making 10 grand a month and really, really set your sights on it? I mean, we broke 10 grand in 5 months. That's, I mean, and granted, Lisa and I are not necessarily the norm, but neither of us were anything special. She didn't know what network marketing was. Like, it was a pyramid. So I love the realness there that anyone can do. So Lisa accidentally went Ruby in a month. Didn't know what that was, right? So
Yep.
if you know anything about our business, the new thing is newbie to Ruby to diamond high five, right? So everything that we do is built on the Ruby principle, and you guys know that I drill that into your head. And I also tell you, and if you're new, you don't know this, rubies are my favorite. They're my favorite. I love rubies. That's their first step of leadership. You guys are excited and inspired. So I wanted Lisa to give her best tip on how to go Ruby because she did it on accident. So, and I know she kind of talks about it a little bit in her story, but Lisa, I just need to give a couple of her favorite tips on how to do it.
Okay. You know, with me personally, I mean, it's my favorite rank too, because Ruby is the rank where people start seeing something that is making a difference in their household. And then once you know how to go Ruby, now you know the secret to our entire pay plan, because after that, all it is rubies. You know, 2 rubies to go emerald, 3 rubies to go diamond, 5 to go double. And I forget what it is, but I think it's like 36 to go ambassador or 72. I don't remember, but whatever it is, it's just rubies. That's really all it is. And for me, getting a new distributor started is the most important part of your business, and it's what's going to keep you afloat. I mean, it's what's going to get you from point A to point B. So many people drop the ball on that, and I think that that's why they have issues with their business, is because they're not. You have to realize that when you sign a brand new person, most people have not been in network marketing before. Most people are used to their entire lives having a boss, somebody telling them this is step A to step B. You know, your parents taught you this, and then you went to school and your teacher taught you this, and then you got a job and your boss told you to do this. And you know, we've always had somebody telling us this is what to do next. So when we get involved with network marketing and we sign someone new, you're assuming, because you know you own your own business now, you're assuming that they're just going to do whatever you tell them to do. And I have news for you. 95% of the people you sign are not going to do what you tell them to do, or they're not going to do what you assume they're supposed to be doing. You can't just go watch these videos and think that they're going to watch them, or do your hundreds list. And I think that's the most important thing. So what I do when I've signed somebody up is a little bit different than some other people. So, you know, Amber probably has her own way, and I know that she builds a lot through social media, where I built my entire business belly to belly. I think I've literally maybe signed 5 people in 6 years through social media. Everybody else has been through a Blitz card. So, and then obviously friends and family that have come in, you know, a couple years into my business. But for me, the process of signing someone new, it's key that right away you're building a relationship with that person, and it's key that right away you are in their face. You need to be their boss for the first 60 days. You need to be on them, telling them what to do, keeping that excitement. You can't just say, here's some videos, watch it, and let me know when you're done. That does not cut it. You have to be really involved with that person. And there really isn't any excuse. A lot of times I'll have people tell me, well, they don't live by me, so I can't get with them. That's BS. You can get on a Zoom with them. I mean, there's so many things that you can do now to be face to face with that person. So immediately when I sign somebody up, the first thing I do is I tell them, do not post on social media yet. Do not go telling everybody and your brother that you've signed up to sell something, because then now we're going to ruin our fast start. Because what I do is I call it getting somebody fast started, and it's not the bonus. What it is, I mean, it kind of is the bonus, but it's how to get those more loyal customers even before they ever get a kit in the mail. In fact, most of my people that I sign, I would say about 90% of the distributors I sign, and maybe 95, that's how many. Most of them get their 4 loyal customers within their first 72 hours, and I help them do it. And how I do that is we immediately sit down and we make a hundreds list. I get on the phone with that person or I do a Zoom. I always try to be face to face if I can because that's super important. I have them have a pen and a paper handy and I tell them, okay, we're going to get on the phone tonight. What time works good for you tonight? Okay, 6 o'clock, perfect. Here's the link. Click on this link. We're going to get on together at 6. If they're local, I'm going to try to meet them. I'm going to have them come to my house or I'm going to go to theirs. But if they aren't, then we're going to do a Zoom. I tell them I need them to have a list of 30 people. The people, start with the people they're the closest to on that list and then go out from there. But around 30 people I want on that list. Now, if they can make it bigger, that's fine, but I want 30 people. I think when you say 100, that's very overwhelming to people, and already they think they might fail. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I could do 100. Well, gosh. And then they freak out. So that's the first thing I do is say, just come, with 30 people on the list to this thing because I'm going to show you what to do next. So once they come, they've got their list in front of them. I say, okay, have your list in front of you, have a pen in front of you, and I literally go through the product pamphlet with them. I go through, even if they met me at a party and they heard the products before, they've probably forgotten. A lot of people don't know about the other products. A lot of people are just signing based off of one product they tried or a product they heard about. So I need to go through the products with them. And basically what I do is I start at the front of the product pamphlet and I go through each of our 30-some products, and I tell them what I want them to do is write the name of the product that I'm talking about down next to one of those 30 names if they think that product would apply to one of those 30 people. And basically, they'll do that. Some of the names might have 2-3 products next to just that one name. And when I get done going through the product pamphlet, I then tell them we are going to go get those 4 loyal customers today or tonight. And they're like, okay, what do I got to do? And I go through and I say, okay, so let's first look at the people that you had a product next to their name that was $30 or less. Why? Because when we approach people with a favor card, you're more likely to get them to purchase a $30 or less product for 3 consecutive months than you are some of the other products. Now, that's not true for everybody. I mean, I'll ask their financial situation and all that, and we can figure that out. And for those people, we can ask for maybe some bigger things, like, would you do the 90-day challenge for me? Things like that. But we're going to start with those $30 products, and I simply just say, okay, so who is this? This is my Aunt Sue. Okay, perfect. How close are you to Aunt Sue? Is this somebody you only see at holidays and you're kind of weird to ask her favors? Or is this somebody you could call up and go, hey, Aunt Sue, I need a favor? And what I want is 4 people on that list that you can call up and say, I need a favor. Right out of the gate, you start out with, I need a favor. And basically, by the time we get off that call, they usually have 6 or 7 people on that list. I've told them exactly how they're going to contact them. And it's always, hey, Aunt Sue, it's Lisa. I need a huge favor. Now, the thing is Aunt Sue does not know yet what you're doing because you didn't ruin yourself by putting it on social media yet. She has no clue what's going to come out of your mouth. So normally when a person says, can you do me a favor, we as human beings love to help people and love to do them favors. Even complete strangers we love doing favors for. So we say, sure, what do you need? That's a common thing that just flies out of our mouth when somebody says, can you do me a favor? Yeah, what do you need, honey? So Aunt Sue says, sure, what do you need? Well, here's the thing. I just got involved with this really amazing company. I'm so excited about it. One of the products has really helped me personally. And when my friend, and don't say sponsor or upline because that sounds techy and people don't connect with that. They already feel sold when you use stuff like upline and sponsor. So you say, when my friend Lisa has been in the company for 6 years, she was explaining the products to me. And when she talked about Confianza, the first person that popped in my head was you. It's for stress and anxiety. I know you're constantly talking on Facebook about how stressed you are. Every time I see you at Christmas, you're talking about your anxiety. And I thought, oh my gosh, Aunt Sue could really like this product. And here's the thing, Aunt Sue. Obviously, I can't afford to try every product right now. But my friend Lisa told me that if I could just get a friend or a family member that would try this product for me for the next 3 months, they can be a product of the product for me. It'll help me get closer to the product, help me get to know the product. And honestly, I want somebody I trust that's going to give me an honest review. It's $25 for 3 months. Would you give it a try for me? It works every time. Every time. Then the next thing I do, now they go get those 4 customers in 72 hours. 50% of the time, they get it with the first 4 calls. Sometimes it might take up to 10 calls, but that's why we have 30 people in the list. Now, the other thing I do that same night is I say, now I want you to think about these 30 people, and I want you to tell me. I know there's some. I think it's because we need to mute people, maybe.
Hold on a second. Let me.
I don't want to be too.
No. I'm gonna mute everyone real quick, and then I'll unmute you. Okay, try it now.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it was bothering me because I kept feeling like I was talking over myself. But basically, what I also do is I'll say, okay, now I want to know who you know in your life that you think would make a great addition to your team. Who do you know that maybe has done a business like this before? Maybe needs the cash. Maybe you just want to work with them. You know, it's your best friend, and you want to say, "Come on, best friend, do this with me." What I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her set up 5 calls with people that she thinks would make good distributors, but she's not going to tell them that. She's going to call her friend Susie and say, "Hey, Susie, I have a huge favor to ask you." Start off the same way. You know the business I just told you about that I'm getting involved with? Look, my friend Lisa that's been in the business for 6 years, she told me the best way for me to learn the verbiage and learn what I'm doing is to get somebody, a friend or a family member on that she can go ahead and explain everything to. You'll be doing me a huge favor. Ask any questions that pop in your head while she's on, and that'll help me so much. You know, I don't want you to buy anything or anything like that. You're just kind of being somebody that's helping me out so I can learn verbiage. And basically, she sets up those 5 calls. The next couple days, I'm going to call with these 5 people. And usually by the end of the call, that person that got on just to do this new person a favor, their friend or family member, they are now interested. And if they don't, I can book at the end. I ask for favors from them. I'll say, do you think this is something you might be interested in doing with, you know, so-and-so? If not, do you possibly think that you know 4 or 5 people that might want to try the wrap that we could get a party booked this week? So I help her do all of that. Like, she is not on her own, and I don't leave her on her own. I help her go through every part of this. And I've taught my team to do the same thing, so we're super successful with it. It just works. And then after we have gotten to all the warm market that she wanted to get to, so that they are not ruined, it's then and only then that we go ahead and we start posting on Facebook and make an announcement that, you know, she's done something, you know. Well, we usually start while we're with the friends and family, going through the hundreds list and setting up those calls and getting the loyal customers before the kit comes. We usually will post on Facebook something amazing coming, a life change. I can't wait to share with you some huge news. And what's cool about that is that people start posting underneath, what is it? What is it? And we know who's watching. And then after we have gotten those 4 customers, set up the 5 phone calls, that is when she announces on Facebook that she's decided to partner with It Works Global and start her own business. So that way her warm market is not ruined. They've been approach the right way and not feeling sold. And then after that, usually we've already got a couple distributors in too. And, you know, now it's just making sure that she's going to do what I did too. And here's the thing is people train their people how you trained them. Think about that, because if you are not doing the right things you need to do with your new distributor, why are you expecting them to do those same things with somebody they just signed? So, you know, you have to find what works for you. That's what works for me, and that's what my team does. And it's amazing. When I started doing this about 1.5 years ago, 2 years now, it really changed the whole dynamic. And most of our people never miss a cab bonus. They never miss a fast start bonus. And they get those 4 customers right out of the gate. So that's kind of, I guess, is that what you mean? And then, of course, I have training videos I have them watch. Right away, I want to plug them in. I've got one that talks about what to do in your first 30 days. And then I don't bog them down with a lot of things, you guys, because I want them just getting out there working with people. Right away, they get out there blitzing. I want them to understand that blitzing is not scary. Blitzing is just something you can incorporate into your everyday life. You do not have to be a creepy blitzer and walk up to random strangers asking if they want a coupon. You don't have to do that. I've never done that in 6 years. So I teach them how to incorporate this into their life, how the blitz card is a thank you and a hello. Always look at it like that, and you're not going to have any issues with it. I get them blitzing like day 2. I mean, they're out there already blitzing. And once I explain how to do it, they're like, oh, that's easy. They just never have an issue with it. And then we do have some scripts we send over for social media as far as not really scripts. I'm not a big script fan. I think it's one of the things that ruins this company is when you've got the same script going out to 50,000 people on social media and they're like, oh, I just saw this one the other day from another It Works distributor. So I'm not really crazy about scripts, but we'll give them 8 o'clock in the morning lifestyle post, and we'll give them some ideas, not really scripts, like post about your friends, your family, how you're utilizing the shake this morning or the greens, stuff like that. So, we kind of show them how to post. So we've got a schedule for that. And then the rest is just networking. Because like I said, as long as you can get somebody doing that 6 list every night, writing down 6 things before they go to bed, making sure the next day they get those done and they stay consistent with it. And as long as the things on that list are income producing, then they're going to grow. They're absolutely going to grow. The people that aren't growing are the ones that aren't meeting new people. They're not adding new people to social media. They're not that's what you have to ask yourself. When's the last time that I met a new person, a brand new person that I connected with, whether that was out and about with a Blitz card, whether it was at your daughter's, cheerleading event, whether it was at the bank when you gave the lady for helping you a Blitz card, whether it was on social media, somebody you just met and now you're messaging back and forth because her daughter's hair she had a cute bow and you're looking for the same one for the cheer squad that she's on, and then now a relationship is starting. That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you're not saying at least 2 to 5 a day, then you're not going to grow. And just being honest, you will never grow in network marketing if you're not networking.
I mean, that's what I was looking for. I can see people taking notes. I've been getting private messages because they're all very excited about you. I knew they would be. So
you should see my car right now. It's a hot mess. You wouldn't be so impressed after that.
I mean, look, I don't need you to be clean. I just need you to teach them.
Cool, because I am not.
So, we had planned to kind of talk about getting out of the funk. However, I think we've kind of gone through that, and I drill that into their heads. So I wanted to open it up to some questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So, guys, if you have a question, don't unmute. It's just too much of a pain. Can you guys just chat, use the chat feature for me and shoot any questions you might have to Lisa, and we'll get some questions rolling here. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to have to find the chat feature bottom about their question. I'm super excited. Some of those tips of what you're doing to help train your team. I don't know why I've never asked you that before. That's a good question. That was good information. Tina wants to know, how do you train your people to blitz?
How do what?
How do you train your people to blitz?
Oh, okay. So, for me, I'm right away when they sign up, one of the first videos they watch, because in my personal opinion, I don't care who you are in this company. I don't care if you solely build through social media. You are at some point in this business if you want to continue to grow, because there are hot spots and cold spots in social media. And if you want to continue to grow and build relationships every day, you're going to have to get over that fear of blitzing. So what I do is I give them right away this video that talks about the 50,000 different ways to blitz. And honestly, the way I explain it is, I think when you hear the word blitz, you picture this, I have to get up in the morning and put my shirt on and go out the house and walk up to random people and look uncomfortable. I don't blitz everybody, and I don't expect them to. I expect them to blitz the people that they're comfortable with blitzing. Now, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, and then you're going to be able to start conversations, and then you're going to be able to work that blitz card in. In fact, obviously by wearing clothing. And one of the biggest things I have my people do is put a blitz card around their neck. Sometimes they're not crazy about that. But once they do that for a day, they're like, 3 people asked me. That was awesome because I didn't even have to ask them. So what I get them doing is just starting with what I call blitzing people that can't tell you no. Okay, so that's the first thing I teach my people, and it gets them comfortable with blitzing, and then they kind of sprawl out from there. And what do I mean by that? People that are paid to help you, they cannot tell you no about things. They're not going to be nasty to you. So for instance, when you go out to eat, your waitress wants a good tip, right? She'd be a great person to blitz because you say to her, oh my gosh, thank you for your help. You've been amazing. You know, I want to give you this coupon. She's not going to tell you no. She wants a good tip. It's good practice. It's just like the lady at the grocery store that just checked you out. You know what? Thank you so much. You've been one of the most pleasant people I've met all day. I'd like to give you a coupon for helping me. It's for a brand new business I just brought to the area. Boom. You give her the coupon. She's going to say thank you. These are ways to practice blitzing because these people are not going to be mean or nasty to you. So it's just about who can't tell me no right now, you know? Or I'll give them what I like to do is I'll give them a challenge. Okay, I'll say today I want you to blitz 3 people at the grocery store, or today I want you to blitz, and I'll tell them exactly how I do that. So instead of going to the deli or going to get my meat already, in the section where it's done and you can just go pick out a thing of ham or turkey or whatever, go to the deli counter. Somebody has to help you at that counter. They have to cut your meat. They hand you the package, and with the thank you, you give them a coupon. You've already blitzed one person. Do the same thing in the bakery section. Then when you're standing in line talking to the cashier and you give her one, look behind you. That's the other thing is I teach people how to take advantage of their surroundings. So if I'm at the carryout in the morning, I just did it today. When I took my daughter to school afterwards, I stopped and I got a big bottle of water and a donut because it sounded good. And I'm not always the healthiest, so that's why these products come in handy. But I blitzed the guy. I said, oh, give this to your girlfriend if you don't want it. I was joking around with him because when he looked at it, he said, I don't need that. And I said, well, give it to your girlfriend if you don't want it. And when I turned around, there was another lady standing behind me waiting to pay. And I said, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to be rude. Let me give you a coupon too. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. So I kind of look around me, take advantage of my surroundings. When I was at the bank the other day, I kind of already hit up this one bank by me, so I decided to go to another bank. It was the same branch, but it's just another bank, probably 5 miles down another way. And when I got in there, the one lady was helping me and she was awesome. And I was also putting in a pretty big amount of money cash into my account. And she was like, holy crap, that's a lot of, are you a waitress? I said, no, actually I'm a wrap girl. And she was like, shut up, what's a wrap girl? And I gave her a coupon and she's like, oh my gosh, I've heard of this. And I was like, hey, would you do me a favor? How many people do you think you have working today? And she was like, I think there's 4 other girls. I said, well, would you mind giving them a coupon too? And if they text my number in the next 10 minutes, I will automatically enter them into my weekly wrap drawing. So I left there, she did, and within 10 minutes, all 5 of them had texted me to get in the wrap drawing, so it was pretty cool. But I just make it simple, easy. I don't talk about it as being scary, and I get them started right away by checking in with them. Okay, this is what you're going to do today. It's like day 2 that they've signed. I'm already teaching them how to blitz. Normally, I've obviously am in a different spot than some people on here, but normally when I sign a new distributor, I'll send them a little care package in the mail with 20 blitz cards. I want them to get started before their kit comes, so I try to make that happen. But even if they are waiting for the kit to come, the kit's going to be there in 3 to 5 days. As soon as the kit comes, the first day, I've got them blitzing, and all I do is tell them what I want them to do, and then I say I'm going to call you tonight, and I want you to tell me how it all went. And yeah, could they lie to me? They could, but most people aren't going to be that graphic. You know what I mean? So most people are knowing that I am on it, that I care, and that I'm going to be calling to find out what happened. They're going to go do it. And once they do it, those first couple days, they realize this is not that big of a deal. This is not what I made it out to be in my head. The longer that you hold off and you don't make it a priority in their business, the longer they're going to hold off. And that's people every day that they're missing, and it's going to be harder. Trust me, the longer that you hold that person off from blitzing, and they're going to put it off because they're going to think, well, if she's not making me do it, this must be something that's kind of, scary or hard. They need to see that it's not. So just get them doing it right away, give them a challenge, and then check in with them and make them share with you what's happened. And then the other rule I have, with just signing a new distributor for the first 2 months, I find out where they want to be. What are you coming in for? And there's very few people that say, I just want to come in and just sit around and chill and like make $100. Most people say, I want that diamond bonus. So I let them know right away that we are going to talk every day. Like, I'm no joke. They call me a stalker on my team because I talk to you in the morning and at night. And I want to be the first person that you hear in the morning to lift you up and motivate you. But I also want to be that person that you hear right before you go to bed so that I can hear about your day. And in case you had a bad day, I can tell you that's so normal. Oh my gosh, my friends and family did that too, but look where I am now. I want to be that person that's there to lift them up at the end of the day too. So I'm kind of a stalker for that first 60 days. And I'm on it, man, because if you are not building the right relationship with people, they won't stick with you. It's easier for them to leave. Isn't it a little bit harder to give up when you barely know a person? You don't know them anything. But if you really feel like somebody cares about you and they poured into you and they've really checked in with you, it's going to be a lot harder for you to just give up. You're going to go, well, she's done all this for me. I don't want to let her down. I'll just stick it out another month. Let me try another. So it's those things that are really going to matter in your business. And if you're the type of person that feels like you're going through distributor after distributor after distributor, so basically you can sign them, but they quit really quickly, it's because you're not building the correct relationships.
It's and you'll hear Lisa and I say it a million different times, but we're in the business of relationships. I mean,
Right.
It is that simple. We're not in the business of selling a bunch of products. We're in the business of building relationships on our team, with our clients. It's huge. Okay, so I have a couple of questions I'm going to kind of breeze over, only because, one, it's 9:50 and I'm very tired. And that sounds terrible, but it's been a long week. And two, because some of them have kind of been answered. Someone asked how to book wrap parties and prevent cancellation. I'm going to say this, and Lisa can agree because she already knows this. Jody Boucher did a call today with 2 other people from Lisa's team, and I'm going to be getting the recording. You guys can listen to that because I can guarantee you that Jody will cover that completely.
Oh, God. She's like the party
queen.
Yeah. That girl, she has like 100% success rate. There's not a party she's done that she's been in this business now for almost 4 years. And I can tell you that in that 4 years, there's not a week that goes by that she is not having a party. And that's why her business is always growing. You're making it too hard. And I think that it's verbiage, a lot of it. For me, I know what's helped me tremendously is stop saying the word party. I mean, as soon as I stopped saying party, I started booking them. I say appointment, but I just say, hey, book an appointment with me. Your wrap's $25, but for every person that comes to your appointment with you, I can come to you or you can come to me, whatever is easier. Takes an hour, no matter how many people come to your appointment with you, but for every person, you'll get $5 off the wrap. So if you bring 5 total, it'll be 25. If you bring 4, it'll be 20. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool because I think that lets them know, oh, okay, even if I have one person, I can still have this appointment. And I think when you do a party, people automatically go, ugh, I got to clean my house. I got to find a babysitter. I'm not prepared for this. They pull out a calendar. They want to do it 3 months from now. When I say appointment, they're like, oh, can you stop over tomorrow night? Yeah, sure. You got any friends that want to come? I'll give you $5 for each person. And then the other thing is they end up canceling. Why do they cancel? Because they don't feel they have a sufficient amount of people coming for that to be a party. So all of a sudden they cancel on you, even if they had 2 people come and they're like, oh, I'm going to feel stupid. She's coming all this way, or she's and we need to let people know, no, we don't care. We don't care if it's just you and a friend. We just want to get in front of people. So, I think it's changing verbiage, but I'll tell you what, that girl, get that recording because she's got so many amazing tips. And, that's the other thing is I do not even sign a distributor unless they agree to have a practice appointment and then a launch appointment. I call them appointments now because I feel like people don't freak out as much. And I don't know why, but it's Wording is such a weird thing. People, you can change one word and it makes the biggest difference in your business. So yeah, get that video. It's awesome.
Love it. Yes, I'm going to get that for sure. Okay, so some of these I'm going to group together. We already talked about that. Someone said they just welcomed the team to the night and they feel like that was a bad thing because of what you, okay. You can't read the question, so I'm just really. So
don't feel bad about things you've done just because I did one thing. It doesn't mean that you've done it wrong or bad. You know, try it next time. You know, see if that works better for you. But doesn't mean that you ruined it from here.
Like, and welcoming her on the team in the team page, totally not an issue. Like, plug her into those resources.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let me see. Some of this I can answer in my team page. Okay, so here's 2 things that I'm going to put together, and then we are wrapping this crap up. Okay, so someone said, I'm going to give you both questions because they're kind of the same, and I'm going to let you run with it, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. How do I stay encouraged when I've asked over 50 people and all of their answers were no? And then the other question is, how do I pull myself out of a funk? Kind of the same.
Okay. Right. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of the same, but 2 different. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, 50, you've asked 50 people. Well, I can tell you that I think I probably went through, I don't know, I would say in the beginning of my business, I had people buy wraps and I had people jump on. But that second month, that was over. I had been through the regulars that came into my business. I had been through that. And now it was time to I had to go out there and talk to people. And I will tell you that, remember, this is networking. And I would say that out of about every 100 Blitz cards, you're going to have 2 people out of those 100 that are actually going to become part of your team, book a party, do something of significance. So you haven't even done enough yet. You got to get out there and do 50 more before you can complain. I know that sounds mean, but this is a numbers game. And unfortunately, I mean, I always tell people it is needles and haystacks, but there's a lot of needles. You just have to feel around and you'll get poked, but you've got to be willing to get out there and do it. I mean, that's nothing. I blitz thousands, that's the norm. My goal usually is, could I blitz, this many this week to get to this many? If I'm blitzing 10 this week, then I'm going to expect probably 0 out of that 10 to do anything. I'm trying to get anywhere from 70 to 100 blitz cards out a week. 10 a day is always my maximum, like my minimum goal, between 10 and 20, because I know at the end of the week when I, do all my drawings and send all this and that, I'm going to have just a couple out of those that end up being something. So look, I know that we want an easier answer. I know you wanted something phenomenal, some kind of secret that I have, but it really is networking. And is it, it's weird for adults because for some reason after the age of maybe, I would say 12 or 13, all of a sudden it becomes weird to make friends. Everybody wants to stick with who they're with. And when you're an adult, it's really weird. I mean, how many times have you heard that statement? I've got enough friends. I don't need any more. I've said that before I was in this business. I mean, the last thing I wanted to do was talk to people. I just wanted to have my little teeny group, go about my day. And, people look at you kind of weird when you're, hey, you want a card? They're like, what are you trying to give me a card for? I mean, stop talking to me. So it is a weird society, but you would be surprised what I've found in the last 6 years is people are lonely. They're bored. Think about what you did before it works. My life sucked, man. I went home every day. I did absolutely nothing. All I had was my kids. I was broke. I didn't have anything to look forward to except maybe the occasional night out once in a while. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, people are going to come in because you're building a relationship with them. It's not going to happen right when you talk to the first 50 people. You've got to talk to those first 50 people. But now what you do with those first 50 people is get them added to social media. Start, getting involved in their life. That I love this. And what do we have in common? And man, we should meet for coffee one day and talk about knitting. I don't know, whatever it is, because it's not now. It's hard. This is the networking of this business. Most of the people that I'm talking to today are not going to come into my business for 6 months to a year. It is just what it is. So you've got to just keep talking to people. Don't ever give up on the ones that have kind of blown you off or told you no, because those same people that have blown me off and told me no are now in my business. It's timing. This business is about timing for every person you run into. And 90% of the time when you hand somebody a Blitz card, it's just not their time. But it will be at some point. And the only way you're going to know when that point is, it could be that person just got pregnant. They never planned on having kids, and now they just had a baby, and now they need stretch mark cream. It could be that this person was financially fine, and then they found out their husband cheated, and now all of a sudden they need cash. Who knows what happens in life? But you have to be there when it happens. And if you don't make a connection with people and continue to build that connection, you're not going to know when you can fill the void in their life. I always say, we're in the business of filling voids. We need to find a want, need, or hate. In fact, I tell my people, I wouldn't even be approaching anybody after that first initial contact if they have not really showed much interest. I'm going to get them on Facebook. I'm going to start learning about their life. I'm going to comment on their stuff. I'm going to get to know them. And until I know what a want, need, or hate I can fill is, I'm not going to approach that person again. I'm going to wait for them to approach me because I don't feel like I have any business. At that point, you're just trying to sell something if you're not finding out how you can help someone else. So, you just haven't talked to enough people. 50 is nowhere near enough. I know that's frustrating to hear, but you just got to keep going. Don't give up and just keep doing what you're doing. And then how to get out of a funk? Goodness. We all get in those. Here's the thing is, to me, this business is like a relationship. You meet somebody and you're all giddy and it's excited and you can't wait to see them. And then all of a sudden things that they do annoy you and you find out the real, but then you're in love with them. And then there's some days you hate them and you want to stab them in the eyes. And then there's other days that you are like, oh my gosh, I'm all in love all over again because of a look they give or something they do. And it's kind of like that with this business. Do you think in 6 years, there's days I don't wake up and think, if I have to say, Blitz, wrap, repeat one more time, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to slit my wrist. I mean, yes, I have those. I know Amber does. I know I do. We don't wake up every day going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I'll tell you what, when I think about doing anything else, I think, gosh, there is nothing else in the world I would rather do than to help people like this, than to be part of such an amazing thing where you can just change lives on a daily basis. And yes, it's not all rainbows and sunshines, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything else in the world. So that's what you have to ask yourself. And for some reason, I might have those weeks or maybe even a month or 2 months where I can't stand it works, but then something happens. That new person comes into my business, they're so excited and and it starts all over again. Then I find my passion again. So find something in this business that motivates you and start doing it. And I can tell you this, if you're sitting around waiting to feel inspired, it's never going to happen. I promise you, in a million years, every time I've been in a funk, I didn't just wake up one morning and go, I'm not in a funk anymore. No. I have stayed in funks, and the only thing that got me out of that funk was to start a 6 list, get up the next day, do it. I hated every part of it, but I would do it. And the next day I hated it again, but I would do it. And the next day I hated it again. But then that 6th day, I found somebody that was interested, and then I kind of liked it again, and then something else happened. So you have to force yourself out of funks. Nobody can do it for you, and you're not going to suddenly wake up and go, I'm motivated again. It's not going to happen. You have to force yourself to be motivated again, because I promise you, if you don't, you're going to sit there, and then 1 week turns into 2, turns into a month, turns into 3 months, and now all of a sudden you've wasted a ton of time. And when you're not consistent with this business, that's the worst thing you can do. It's not about how many people you're blitzing every day. It's about that you're blitzing somebody every day. I would rather sign a distributor that's only going to blitz one person a day, add one new person a day to Facebook or social media, whatever. I would rather sign that person, because they will get somewhere because of their consistency over time, rather than signing someone that's hot and cold, that someone that signs everybody and is amazing for a month, and then for 3 months they do nothing. Why? Because they're building up no momentum. They're not building up an amount of people. And plus people don't believe you're serious. They're like, well, she hasn't posted on Facebook for 6 weeks. How am I supposed to believe that she wants to do this, or that she's serious about this business? Or, so it's just about that consistency. And again, the funk thing, we all get in them. from. It's a choice you have to make to get out of it. And look at the alternative, I would suppose. I mean, is there anything else out there that's going to make you, even if you ranked once for 5 years straight, once a year for the next 5 years, look where you'd be. Once a year for the next 8 years, look what you would be. You'd be a millionaire in this company. Isn't it worth it? And most people don't do that. They rank 3 or 4 times in a year in the beginning. So, what do you have to lose? Get up, get out of your funk. If $1 million does not motivate you, then nothing probably will. So maybe network marketing just isn't for you. So not to be mean, but it might not be. Not for everybody.
Lisa just kicked like 10% of the people off this call with that. They're like, oh, shit. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, crap. This is not for me. My favorite thing that she said all night is you just promoted 1 rank a year. You'd be a millionaire in 8 years. Like, I think that, and you've been in 6 years now, Lisa, is that right?
Right.
Okay. I always tell people, and some of you don't know me or my story, and that's a whole nother thing after China on a totally different call. But I've been in for 4 years, over 4 years now. And I always tell people, if you could look at Lisa and I go, I want that, even if you could 10% of that, if you stuck it out for 4 years, wouldn't it be worth it? Make an extra couple of grand a month in 4 years? Like, are you going to do that in your full-time job? No, you're not. I saw, if you've seen Christina Watson, granted she's a top 10 earner, she got a $5,000 raise from last month. Guys, I can assure you that Lisa and I have seen those. Have you ever worked in a place that made $5,000 a month at all, let alone get a $5,000 raise?
Raises, right. It's crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. And so I think the big thing is we all get in funks. I mean, Lisa said it. It doesn't matter what rank you are. We all get in funks. It happens to the best of us. We all wake up and we go, is this where I'm supposed to be? What the hell? This is a mess. And then you find one new person and that fresh blood and their excitement gets you amped up all over again. And so there's nothing cooler to me than signing up a brand new person who has all of the excitement and I can feed off of that because we all need it. It's the same reason I tell you guys to stay excited and tag me in your excited posts because it doesn't matter what rank you are. We all need that. And I won't go into details, but like Tammy and Gina just did a fill the bucket thing. I'm really mad they've never mentioned doing that at our meeting. Now I feel like we need to do that like once a quarter. But Lisa, what they did is they drew buckets on papers and then everyone went around and filled up people's buckets with things that they love about that person.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like, what the hell? I had no idea. So it's amazing. So, but do you know what kind of excitement that brings to people? So it's all about sharing that excitement. And when I get into a funk, the number one thing I do is I find someone who is uber excited about this business and their life in general. And that's who I hang out with. It doesn't matter what rank they are. Their excitement alone will fuel my fire. So I think that's huge. But I kept you way longer than I anticipated, but you love me, so...
Well, I talk a lot. I tend to, really explain things.
I did an hour and a half call for Patrice Garrison's team. I was like, I am so sorry, but I just kept talking. And she was like, girl, people weren't jumping off. They were taking notes. But thank you for hopping on. And you had a busy week, so I really, really
thank you for having me, and good luck on your adventure coming up. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. We're excited too and terrified, but whatever. So
no, terrified is good.
I was terrified with pregnancy too, right? So I think it's normal. I've hit the stage though where we're in like the Braxton Hicks stage for like the last 2 weeks of pregnancy, where you're like, just do something, like. Right. Give me a baby. And we're in that stage now where I'm like, just give me a baby. That's why I'm so cranky. So if you've talked to me lately, sorry about that. I apologize. I still love you. I just need someone to get this baby out of me. All right. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording. If anyone wants the recording, I'm going to try to get it uploaded to YouTube tonight, but you know how I am, but I'm going to try.